everyone. Welcome to another segment of Sisters in Service. I am your host, Kat Corchado. And today we have Maurette Hanson, who does equine therapy for everyone, including veterans, which is why I wanted her on the show. So I'm going to let her introduce herself. Welcome, Maurette, to Sisters in Service.
Hi, Kat. So nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. So, Maurette, when you were not the equine therapy queen, what do you do for fun? What do you do, when you're not doing? See, come on, you are. So I've just dubbed you that, okay?
Apparently. All good. It's all good.
So what do you do for fun, Maurette?
Honestly, I don't really do a whole lot for fun, especially lately, just because of the COVID, right? I haven't been to a restaurant in over a year, that whole thing. I just keep myself busy around the farm. We have a lot to do in the barn, taking care of the horses. I have 5 of the equine team, 5 members. I have chickens, I have a cat, I have 2 dogs. So we're always busy taking care of the animals, which is a good thing.
Yes.
It's a very good thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So take us back to when did you get started with equine therapy or even with horses? Have horses always been an interest to you, something you've loved doing and you just evolved into that? Or how did you get involved with doing this?
Well, horses go back to when I was 8 years old. So, I was, a crazy horse kid. And I saved all my money, all my birthday money, Christmas money, so I could go to riding camp during the summer. I would go twice a week. And then, life goes on and, I went to college, got married, had children. So the equine stuff went away. And then once the kids started school, I started back in equine working for private people and just, and amateur riders and people who are, competing and that kind of thing. So I got to learn a lot more and that kind of thing. And so when the opportunity came along for me to be able to combine, do the equine therapy, I went to school for special education. So it was just the combination of doing that and providing that kind of service for kids with disabilities and things was just a no-brainer for me. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where it all began. It was back in, I want to say 2007, 2006 is when I started. Mm-hmm. And then I went off on my own in 2011 is when I started my veterans program and had my own facility and that kind of thing.
That's awesome. So describe your program. Like if I were to come to you, okay, let me rephrase it. Why would someone need or want equine therapy?
Either by suggestion of their therapist, because it's becoming pretty recognized as a alternative modality. And there's been a lot of scientific data taken. And so that's really been a wonderful boost for us and those that provide this kind of service. But it would be because you are looking outside of the box and you want to get out of the normal therapeutic sitting in an office kind of thing with a clinician and want to experience something else that will help you on your healing process. So that's usually it's not even that's how people come to me. Mm-hmm. And especially the veterans program definitely comes in that way. And I work with at-risk youth and I also work with people in recovery and that kind of thing. So
that's great. So if I'm for veterans, what kind of, because veterans have a lot of things that could be happening to them, such as PTSD, military sexual trauma, TBI. Does it help with all of that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've had many veterans that have covered all of those areas. As a matter of fact, I have 2 female veterans right now that I'm working with that are military sexual trauma. And they come together as a group. So because it's out of the box and they're out in nature and they're experiencing something that they may be very intimidating to them, because some of these people, a lot of veterans have not had equine experience. They weren't raised with horses. They may have ridden a horse when they were a kid kind of thing. Yeah. So it's an exploration for them and an experience for them. But really what happens when they come in, they come in with an open mind, thank goodness. Although some I've had to say have but their minds open after a while, which
Of
is really
course.
wonderful to watch the process, actually, especially with the Vietnam veterans. They can be a little bit more to themselves. So, and that's been a wonderful experience watching that process. So anyway, so that's how it would happen, or somebody recommended it to them, not even a therapist, and they just kind of just started researching it and found me, and here we are.
That's awesome. The question I have is, horses just seem to be incredibly gentle animals. They're huge, but they just have this very quiet presence about them. Have you ever had anyone that was actually afraid of the horses and they overcame that through the equine therapy?
Yep.
Can you tell our audience a little
actually.
story about that? Do you have a story that you'd want to tell us about?
Let's see. Oh my gosh. I got to think about that. You should have told me that earlier so I could prepare myself.
Okay, let's come back to that. Think about that. Okay. Let's come back to it. But what is it do you think that the horses do for people that come to you? What do the horses give them that they can't get somewhere else?
Well, first off, let's just look at the horse itself. They're very intuitive, and they're survival animals. They live in the moment. So that's number one that they bring. Secondly, they all have their own different personalities. They are not a typical, they fit in this box and that's it. That's not the way it is at all. They're all very different. My equine team is made up of an eclectic group of horses. I mean, from a little mini all the way up to my Frisian, who is this big, black, very intimidating horse when someone might meet her for the first time.
So they're kind of like people. You know how people are different?
Absolutely. So. Absolutely. So my job is when an individual comes in and starts working on their process and wanting to experience this, my very first thing is to keep them safe. That's the first thing I say. I'm here to keep you safe. I'm here to keep you safe. I'm here to keep the horse safe. What we're going to experience is going to be your own experience, not mine. And I am just going to guide you through it. And hopefully, as you're going through the process, you will be able to connect on a level that is with a relationship that you'll be building with you and your horse. So the very first day, would you like for me to go through a very first day?
Absolutely, please.
Okay. So if a veteran were to come in, and I'm going to take veterans specifically, if they were to come in, we would go out into the herd and we would do a herd observation. So all I'm asking for the veteran to do is just to stay open-minded. I'm going to introduce each horse, who they are, what they are, some of their experience, and let them kind of get to know them from their personality. Then we're gonna move on to the next one, same kind of thing. In that process, I'm asking the veteran, pay attention to a horse that might gravitate towards you or that you might gravitate to. And I really want you to be aware of that. But also I am having them understand that they are in their environment, not our environment. They're in their environment. So Again, safety is huge. So it's about respect right off the bat. So they're coming in, and then we need to respect that we are in their environment, and then we'll go and meet each one. At the end of the session, we'll go and process a little bit and say, okay, who did you gravitate to? Who gravitated towards you? And it has not failed yet that the horse that they are supposed to be with is the one that's either gravitated towards them or vice versa. So, and because of that, with that individual, it's exactly what they need. It's the exact combination that they need to go on with their healing. So
that's amazing.
It really is amazing. It's amazing to watch the process as it goes on during the sessions, and how the individual starts building their confidence, their trust, their communication. It's a whole gamut of things. So, it's pretty wonderful, actually, I think, anyways.
Now, I had heard, I've never done equine therapy or just been around horses. And I have to confess, I've never been on a horse before, but it intrigues me to no end because they're such magnificent animals, but they just have this gentleness about them. Now, I'd heard, or someone had told me that you never walk up to a horse, that the horse, if there's this intuitiveness, that they will come to you, like the horse you need kind of walks towards you. Is that
That's
true?
correct. Yes, absolutely. No, it
That's
doesn't
so
happen
cool,
it doesn't happen every single time now,
right.
because if you're in their environment and they're kind of like I have one mare. She's beautiful. She is my lead mare. She is like a mommy. She takes care of the kids, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if she doesn't want to greet you, she's not going to. So if
She's
you
like,
walk up to her,
I'm busy.
exactly.
I'm right now.
I'll see you when I'm ready. And that's no joke. But it's not because she doesn't want, that she's saying that, looking at that individual saying, I just don't want to be around you today. She's not that. It's just whatever her mood is at the moment. And we just have to respect it. And
Right.
if we respect it, then she'll come around when she's ready and she'll come up to you. But not all the other horses are that way. She's really the only one that really puts that little guard up, so to speak. So yeah.
You got that little
now I gotta let you know, horses are gentle, but they're also survivalists.
Mm-hmm.
So if they get into a fright flight mode, they are not going to care whether you're there or not. They're going to go.
Oh yeah.
So if you're on your back and you have not started building that relationship with them, they're just going into survival mode, if that makes sense. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So how I approach things is for the individual to know that they will be meeting on the grounds of how the horse communicates, not how we want them to communicate.
Exactly.
We are going to be experiencing their language.
Mm-hmm.
And through that, we're going to learn a lot about ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So language meaning they're not talking, obviously, but how they communicate.
Through their actions, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yep. And then that's going to teach us a lot about our own selves,
mm-hmm.
About, how we approach people in general, how we approach situations, and they're going to feed that back to us.
Right.
Okay.
So if you have, let's say I'm in your program and there isn't any horse that gravitated towards me and there wasn't one that I really resonated with, does your team kind of match you with a horse?
Well, I'm the team. I'm it.
Okay, team. So, Maurette, do you?
Now, if I have a group of veterans out there, I have volunteers. But if there's a one-on-one session, it's one-on-one session. Mm-hmm. I intuitively know already ahead as I'm meeting the veteran and getting to know that veteran before we even go out, I've already got an idea of who is going to match up with who. Now, it doesn't always 100% turn out that way, but I know my horses so well that I kind of have an idea of who they're going to match up with. And even if the horse doesn't come to them, I will I will ask about each one that they can, met and kind of get a sense of, okay, what was it about that horse that was interesting to you or whatever. I'll bring up questions and then it inevitably they will make that final decision. Okay.
You can't go wrong. You've been doing this so long. You're just like, yeah, that one over there is good for you.
Yep.
Take us through. So you have someone, you've matched them to a horse. What is it week? Is it once a week? Is it twice a week? How often do they come?
It's once a week.
Okay. Yep. So what do they do? So I've been matched with a horse. I come for my weekly. What do I do with the horse?
Well, each session grows on the next. Okay. So the very first day, obviously, is that herd observation. And we may have enough time that we can bring the horse in and they can get to know it a little bit more and maybe start learning how to do some grooming. But that will be it. That will be the first session. Second session will be you're getting your horse or the horse will already be in. It just depends.
Mm-hmm.
And you will start really learning how horse care, how to
Okay.
groom, what's the proper way of grooming. But in that grooming, you are learning how to connect. You are
Yeah, you're
already
connecting with
learning
absolutely.
the connection
Yes.
piece. So you're starting to pay attention to how your horse is communicating to you. What are you doing to your horse that might make the horse move away or that kind of thing? And so I'm keyed into that. I'm watching that. I'm observing that. And I will always come from the place of the horse and how they're understanding it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And again, that's how we learn. That's what, makes us very aware of what we're presenting to another being.
Mm-hmm.
you know so
Right.
so then we just keep building on those skills. So it's about building skills and the connection with the horse, but you're building on a relationship and learning how to communicate with
Right.
that being
Without words. Without
without
words.
words. Absolutely. Absolutely. And then sometimes we may do a one thing that the veteran will learn to do is how to lead. Now that sounds so simple and so easy. It is
Mm-hmm.
not. Leading has so much to do with how you are presenting yourself to your horse and whether or not you can respectfully be leading that horse and that horse building on the fact that they can see you as a true leader, because that's how they work in a herd. If you can't be a leader in a herd, then they don't want to hang around you.
Right.
They're going to go off and, they're going to find one that is going to be. There's always a leader in the herd, always.
Right.
And I have a herd leader in my herd. So it's very important that, in building the relationship, it's important that we come from that perspective that it's how the horse is looking at you as a leader.
Mm-hmm.
And there's different things that happen, little dances that go on during that time of learning. Okay, that's one thing. Another thing we might do is I do a thing called, but this is throughout the sessions as we're building our sessions.
Okay.
I'll do a thing called warrior painting. And I give you symbols, Native American symbols, and then you can tell your story on the horse by painting it on the horse, just like the Native Americans did when they would put paint symbols on their horses.
Wow, that's interesting.
And it tells, and you can tell whatever story you want to tell,
Mm-hmm.
that is meaningful to you. And that's been pretty amazing, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's brought a lot of real truth to the individual. So
Right. But it's their own truth without broadcasting it to everybody.
that is correct. And they don't have to share it if they don't want to. If we're doing it in a group,
Mm-hmm.
they don't have to share it, but they're sharing it with their equine partner.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the big part of it.
Mm-hmm. And it's when you're accepted, by an animal, any animal, you kind of feel safe in that connection.
That's correct.
Whether it's a dog, a horse, or whatever, that animal accepts you the way you are.
That's correct.
And where you are.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's huge.
So when you come in, I might check in with you and say, okay, where are you on a 1 to 10 scale as far as anxiety or your week? How was your week before? Mm-hmm. So that you're checking in right away before you even connect up with your equine partner, so that you're very aware of what you're bringing into that session. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so then with that, we can work from there as to how you're communicating to the horse and, that kind of thing. What was I going to say? Well,
I have a question while you're thinking about that. So if I come in and on a particular day, I am just highly agitated. I'm highly, I have high anxiety. Is that a good thing that they're there for the equine therapy, or do you have to what do you do for them before they meet their right. horse partner?
Right. Well, again, that checking in process is really important. Mm-hmm. Remember, I'm not a therapist.
Right.
I'm an equine specialist. So I can't be giving you therapeutic from a therapist.
Oh, sure.
Point of view,
absolutely.
But
right.
I can, because I do it in my own self, is I can have you take a deep breath. Check in with your, just take a deep breath. Take a couple of deep breaths. If you're feeling a little off, let's just take a moment before we go, go be with our equine partner. Mm-hmm. Then when we're with our equine partner, let's just stand there. Just put your hand on them.
Mm-hmm.
Take another deep breath. Make that connection. And then we can go on. And it's amazing how quickly that can happen, how quickly the agitation will come down and that kind of thing.
Right.
Now, horses are very tuned into energy. So if you're coming to them and you're having, that's why I ask for you to take a deep breath so you can get centered with yourself.
They need to feel that calmness within you.
It's safety for them too.
Yeah.
If they can't feel safe around you, then they don't want to be around you.
Right.
But again, they're there to help you in being in your own awareness.
Mm-hmm.
So there's another thing that I teach, and I teach this to every single client that I have. There's an acupressure thing that you can do on a horse, on a dog, and yourself. And on the horse, it's called the bladder meridian. And you will start at the beginning where the ears are, and you'll work away down their spine and down to the rump and down to the back of their leg. And in that process of doing that, and you're just barely touching, you can find areas of the horse where they're holding tension, or they might be sore or whatever. And the horse will respond by letting you know by blinking really quick.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. So when an individual is doing this process, they are connecting on a level that is higher than them, as I feel.
Yeah.
They are also becoming more self-involved with the horse in the sense that they're not all about them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they're getting out of their own heads.
Exactly. Yes.
And
that's
so
huge.
There they are helping this horse release certain tensions or whatever is going on. And when it happens, when the horse releases, what we call releasing, they'll do a big yawn, or they'll do a chewing, or they'll lower their head, or they'll do a deep sigh. And when that happens, the person's like, I did that?
Yeah.
I did that?
So they help relax.
You did it together.
Yeah.
You did it together. And you were sharing that space together and that energetic exchange so that you could help this horse release whatever he was holding.
Right.
That's a huge, huge deal.
That is huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I've taught veterans that are in their 70s to do this process. And it is amazing how they I don't know, they get it.
Yeah.
It's the coolest thing to watch.
Yeah. So how do you get referrals? So not you in particular, but if I have a friend of mine, they say Kat needs equine therapy. Okay. She's having issues. She needs to, she's having high anxiety, among other things. Would that person call you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
They can call me or they can email me. I mean, I have my website. I have a Facebook page. And it's called the Horses for Veterans Horsemanship and Wellness Program. I don't use the word therapy in there, partially because I got a lot of feedback on veterans that I was working with down in Florida when I started the program down there. I was the equine program for the West Palm VA hospital down there. That took a long time to have happen, but when it happened very quickly, thank goodness. And the word is that we don't want to go to something that is therapy.
Right.
Because that's what we're trying to get away from.
It brings up other things, or misconceptions about what you do.
Right. Exactly. And since I'm not a licensed therapist, I'm an equine specialist. I can work with a licensed therapist side by side with one, which I've done many, many times. Or if I don't have the therapist there, then it becomes horsemanship skills.
Right.
Okay. So with that, all that's you're experiencing and you're interacting with that horse, and they're teaching so much about yourself. So,
right.
So anyways,
were you able? No, it's okay. That was great. Did you think of a story of how it helped? And when you talked about Vietnam veterans, do you have a story in particular that helped a Vietnam veteran?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty huge. And actually, you can go. The VA hospital actually did a video on him, and you can go on the website and watch it. So this particular veteran, a Vietnam veteran, quit his job after 35 years of being in the same company because his PTSD started raging. Of course, he went to the VA and the whole thing, but he was getting very distraught and that kind of thing. At that time, I think they might have been the second or third group that was coming from the VA hospital. The PTSD unit would refer them. Okay. And it came, the only way that the VA would do it at that time was through the recreational department.
Oh,
so you had to be referred from the PTSD to the recreational department, and then the recreational department brought the veterans to me. But that was fine. Didn't make any difference. I didn't care how that was going to happen.
Right.
I knew where they were coming from originally.
Right.
I knew what was going on. Anyways, so we were doing the warrior painting. It was session 6. And that's usually when I would do the warrior painting, because everybody's gotten to know each other. They're comfortable with each other. They've learned a lot with their horse already. So he's doing his symbols, and I had 5 in that group actually. And okay, we're done. Would you like to share your experience? And he said, I have never, ever told this story in all my 50 years from when he was in Vietnam. I have never told my wife. I have never told my family members. I have never told my therapist. But this is what happened to me in Vietnam. And he drew it on his horse. Mm-hmm. And it was a story about how they were in this area, and part of his job was to go out and look for ambushes, so to speak, I guess, those that were coming in. And they got surrounded. And he lost people in his squadron and stuff. He got out of there. But when he was telling the story, because he had never, ever shared this before, he started crying. Of course, we're all blubbering idiots right with him. But the fact that he felt comfortable enough, safe enough to share that story for the very first time was such a healing point for him on moving on. So that's one story. That's only one story.
I mean, you must see all kinds of different things. People just, releasing it, getting it out of their body and into the universe, and they become almost, I don't want to say reborn, but this heavy, heavy weight load that they've been carrying around for so long. Now all of a sudden is like their light is air. No.
Well, that's the beginning of the process of it.
Transformation.
Yeah, absolutely. And his horse, who is that mare that I was telling you about, that was always a little aloof at times, took it 100% and gave him such courage to be able to start on his process.
Right.
So that's just one instance. Yeah. There's another one that's pretty heart-wrenching, actually.
I bet you never get tired of seeing these transformations.
Never.
No.
Never. And there's never any expectations. There's never like, this is the way it's going to happen. It's come in anew with every single individual and watch the process happen.
Right.
So again, I know my horses. I know what they bring to the party. I know what they're going, I don't know what they're going to do, but I know who they are. And when certain things come up, I can share that with that individual.
Right.
Look at it from his perspective.
Are you able to get referrals from the VA, or does it have to go?
Not here in North Carolina right now. No. Yeah. But I've hooked up with quite a few. I've hooked up with she's a friend of mine. She is the director of veteran services here in Union County. So she's very aware of the services that I offer, and she'll refer. I'm also hooked up with Dana Dre. Dana.
Yeah.
She's been a wonderful support. As a matter of fact, she's going to come out here at some point and bring a group, because now she's working for Metrolina Blind.
Yes.
So little by little, it's getting out there. But what's happening, I don't know how the therapists are finding out about me, but they are. And so the 2 individuals two female veterans that I'm working with right now were referred by therapists. So I don't know whether the the veteran said, I'm interested in equine therapy, then the therapist looked it up. I honestly don't know, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Are you the only equine therapist in North Carolina?
Oh gosh, no.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Oh, no. There's quite a few of us actually.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm just in this area.
You're in yeah. So you're able to, depending on where the veteran is, maybe they're too far from you, but they might be closer to someone else who's
Yep.
an
Yes,
equine therapist.
I have a colleague of mine who I would refer that's up in Kannapolis. She's just moving to Kannapolis. She just sold her place in Davidson. And if someone was up in that area, I would absolutely refer them to her.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's the best way to contact you if someone who's listening is highly interested in what you have to offer? What's the best way to contact you?
Phone call. Just call, and if I don't answer, leave a voicemail. I'll get right back to you. Tell me what who you are and what you're doing, and I'll call you back. Or again, email me. And you can find my email anywhere. It's on my website, and it's also on my Facebook page. So a Healing Horse Therapy Center. It'd be under Healing Horse Therapy Center.
Okay. I'll also put it on your, when I advertise I'll put it on there too, so people know how to contact you.
Yeah.
But,
yep. That's all you got to do, and I'll get back to you.
I don't need equine, what you do. I keep saying equine therapy, and I have to change my verbiage, but I want to do it. It just sounds so amazing.
Okay, so Kat, I did when I first moved here, the first year I was here, I connected up with, actually, she wanted to come and do volunteer for me, but comes out she was a Marine. She had done 3 tours in Afghanistan. And so she started doing some volunteer work, but it ended up starting to be sessions more than it was volunteer.
Right.
But I said, how can I get some more women veterans, And she said, well, I'm at UNCC and I'm part of the veterans group, the women's veterans group there.
Yes.
Let me talk to them and see if we can't get something together. So I created a Woman Warrior Equine Experience. It was a 3-hour thing. And you just come in and you experience being in this environment and working with a horse. And I can only do 5 at a time because I only have 5 horses, because I want every individual to have their own partner.
Right.
But I would love to do that again and do another one of those experiences. And in that, we'll do like some crafty stuff and, learn how to groom the horse properly. But you're going to spend that time in that environment.
I would love to do that.
All right.
I just would. I would definitely love how to.
We get rid of this mud season. Right now, I have all my sessions on hold until middle to late March because the mud is so bad out there and it's still very cold. Yeah. So I've had to put everything a little bit on hold, and which is fine. I don't want anybody getting hurt, horses included, because if they start running around and slipping and sliding, we're in bad shape.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, Maurette, it has been such a pleasure having you on and learning more about what you do. You have so much experience at doing this, and I would love to be a part of the Women Warrior Equine Experience. If anyone who is listening and you are a veteran in the North Carolina area, in the Charlotte area, you guys know my email. I will put it out there, but you know how to get in contact with me and let me know your interest level, because I think this would just be huge.
Absolutely. I would love it, love it, love it, love it. Bring it.
All right.
Let's bring it.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank
you, Kat. It's been a pleasure.
And for my sisters in service, please be safe out there and take care of each other. Until next time.
Take care, all.
I want to take a moment to thank all of you who have taken the time to listen to my podcast since I started. And I hope you will continue to download my episodes and follow me on my podcasting journey. I have upcoming episodes with women veterans, Blue Star, Gold Star moms, episodes on traumatic brain injury, PTSD, MST, and military spouses. But I would also like to know what you would like to hear on this podcast. Message me on all social platforms and by email, which will be included in the notes. The next episode will air on May 4th, and I hope you will tune in. Please be safe, take care of each other, and until